Hi, good morning. Michelle here. I wanted to go ahead and take you on a little bit of a plant chore video I have today. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking cuttings out of their pots in whatever base soil they're in. And I'm going to actually be potting them up, some in really small pots, some in a little bit bigger pots. I have about 10-ish or so Hoyas. So they're going to take a little time. So what I thought is I'd get started on them and we'd talk through them. If you ever have any questions or comments about what I'm doing in a particular video, please put them in the comment section below. I promise I'll get back to you. I guarantee you're probably not the first person ever had a question like that. So please go ahead and put in the comment section below. If you liked what you see today, please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see other plant-related content from me, please consider subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. And now on with the video. The first Hoyas are these Nova Ghosts. These are actually supposed to be converted Argentea princesses. Thankfully, they are rooted and everything for me. We're left with two good stems that we're going to go ahead and pot up. I think they would do good in this pot. I'm trying to get rid of some small pots, so that's why I'm doing this. I think they would look pretty good in something like this. What do you think? The roots are this big, going into a pot this big. What do you think? You think that's big enough? Because my only other alternative is to put it in a pot that's this big. So you're basically running into about the same size anyway. So that's why I thought that I would try this and see what happens. So what I'm going to pot this in this time is tree fern fiber, and of course I seem to have left my little scoop elsewhere. And this stuff is a mess. Messy but good. And then just go ahead and load her on up again and finish the job. Someone commented to me that I have a lot of analogies, which is true. I was basically given an analogy for any type of situation growing up. So what are some of your analogies? Put them in the comment section below. I will share my analogy for the same thing. I have a million of them. If you have any, shoot them on up and we'll have a conversation, a funny conversation about them. Okay. So here's this cute little potter. It says, I wet my plants. Isn't that cute? It's got reverted Hoya Argentea princess cuttings, otherwise known as Nova Ghost. I really like this plant. Unfortunately, I had a Nova Ghost cutting that I killed. So to have this from my daughter is really nice. So the first plant is the Nova Ghost. The next Hoyas on my list are kind of a set of two, and this is my piestolepis. I hope I'm saying that right. This one is rooted in a tight cylinder, and I don't normally like rooting in this because it's kind of a pain to get out. But that's why I'm not leaving it in here very long, is so that we can't get it out. Here we go. And this one's already in a 2-inch cup. So it'll go good with a 4-inch cup. I don't really have anything bigger. There we go. How does that look? Does that look okay? I do believe that it's going to take a learning curve for the pond to get used to living in soil again. And that's my huge concern. I don't want any of these Hoyas to fail or flounder while they are getting used to their new substrate. Okay, here is my piestolepis. I think it turned out really nice. There's 2 cuttings in there. There is a larger single node cutting, which actually has grown this little leaf right here. And then there is a smaller cutting right back here, which has 4 leaves, but no new growth on it yet. This has me really excited. I think this has a wonderful leaf shape. The third Hoya is actually something I need to trellis up. So that's probably, I can go ahead and do it today. The roots aren't the greatest, so maybe what I'll do is I'll put it in a taller cup like this and put in the gosh, I cannot talk today. Put in the wire hoop trellis. All looks good. Okay. Oh, here we go. I know what I can do. I can go ahead and pot it up in one of these potters, and then I can go ahead and add the trellis later. It's got some roots. I'm not going to mess with it and clean it off or anything like that. I'm just getting off the majority of the dirt. He's all potted up now, so now we can give him a trellis a little later and see what he looks like this. So that is the third Hoya. The fourth Hoya is kind of a mess. This is my Finlaysonii, and it has been in soil as long as I can remember, since I got it. So I would like to take it out of its container and repot it something larger, or at least in tree fern fiber. Okay, so this is what we have. We have this, and we'll just crack open. We'll just crack open the container, and whoop, yep, that is all roots right there. So we're just kind of squeeze them a little, just loosen them from each side. Doesn't look like they want to loosen much. Am I going to use a small flat cup, or am I going to use a bigger one? See this, the roots are already filled up most of the pot. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pot. I knew I brought one out here for some reason. So this will have less transition because it's moving from a bark soil mix to a tree fern fiber perlite mix. So I think it should do well, or at least not terribly, but we shall see. And if it does, we'll pull it out and we'll put it in something else. So what are your most wished for Hoyas this year? What are your most wished for plants overall? Is this something that you've been wanting for a long time? Or is this something that you just saw recently and was like, wow, I have to have it? Some of mine have been recent, wow, I have to have that. Last year, I got quite a few Hoyas off my wish list, so I felt quite lucky. Okay, so this one's almost done with the potting part. Okay, so now let's go ahead and trellis this up. Okay, so I went ahead and trellised this Finlaysonii into a pot, self-watering pot with tree fern fiber. Now I can go ahead and put this in and put this in the Millsbo cabinet, and I think it will do really good from here. So the next Hoya I have is the Finlaysonii. The next Hoya I have to pot up is actually a pair of two Hoyas. This is a pair of caudata gold. I put one in tree fern fiber and one in water to root. And right now I'm going to see which one has the best roots. They both have new growth tips. The one in tree fern fiber was put in at the same size as the water. And as you notice, the one in tree fern fiber grew a lot faster than the one in water propagations. They both have a leaf on them. This one has a leaf here. This one has a leaf right here. So they've both grown new shoots and new leaves. But I will say that I am more satisfied with the tree fern fiber rooting. I think I'm going to go ahead and pot them up in a cup like this. I think that will keep them happy for a while. Now I'm just gently potting this up. I still have the majority of my Hoyas in pond, and I will probably keep them in pond unless they develop any type of issues. Now the fourth one is my Black Magic. And the reason I'm putting this now is I want to get this out of this pot and I want to retrellis it. I don't have any trellises now, so that's going to have to wait. Well, I have this one, but so I'm going to unpot it. This is a very shallow pot, so I have to be careful of the roots. This looks about done. All I'm trying to do is loosen the compact soil around the roots so that it can have some aeration around the roots when I put the new soil down. Let's also go ahead and get this one in tree fern fiber. But I will mix it up with some of his organic mix. There we go, just right. Now let's cover this bad boy up. These are cuttings I took for sale, and I just need to pot them up. So I thought that I would do that while I'm on a potting kick. And I do need to clean the mess out from below, so I'll tilt it down and you'll see me clean my mess. Now that you've seen this get cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and bring out the Hoyas. These are Hoyas that I put into root quite a while ago. So we're going to just go ahead and check on any of them. And any of them that are ready for sale, I'm just going to pot up individually in a individual cup, providing that I can find them, and I did. Okay, sorry about that. The battery went dead, but we left off right at the end. I told you that I had looked through all of the cuttings that needed to be up potted to soil, and I looked at them. They all look like they need to go. So now the next step is to go ahead and put the cuttings that are in water into some sort of soil mixture. So let's get started on the cuttings. I'll go ahead and tilt you down so you can see it a little better. The first one is this ilagiorum. It's got some very nice roots to it. I definitely think I want to put this in self-watering with pond. And unfortunately the pond is below me right now, so I'm just going to have to set the ones for pond aside for just a moment. Okay, this is the latifolia. This is going to go in a cup because I'm going to put it up for sale. And I'm going to use tree fern fiber for that, my favorite, at least right now, at least until somebody posts on the internet that tree fern fiber destroyed all their plants. Then I'll probably hurry up and get it all out. Okay, so there is the Hanhiae. Okay, here is a crassipetiolata splash. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the net cup as well. Okay, there's the crassipetiolata splash. Now we're on to the ilagiorum. Which has already got a really great growth point on it. And there's my crassipetiolata splash. Here's another nice sized crassipetiolata splash. And this one is the next crassipetiolata splash. This is for my personal supply, but it's not really rooted very much yet, so I'll probably keep it in the water for a little longer. Welcome back. Unfortunately, I had kind of a battery dead issue that cut me off when I was talking last time. But where I left off is that I had repotted most of the cuttings that I had rooted in water. I still do have a few left over, so we will go ahead and finish those up now, and then I will clean up and I will show you everything I have. So let's go ahead and get back and turn our attention back down to the potting mat. Here's our potting mat, and what I'm doing now is I have this obovata inner variegated that I got for a trade. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually pot it up into a potter that I want to keep this plant in. So I'm going to use one of my decorative potters. Throw some leca down in the bottom just for giggles and grins. And let's see, here is some tree fern fiber I have that I will use. And in case anyone is wondering why I'm using tree fern fiber, and I have found in my cuttings, I have not used it long enough to say this is going to be the way it is for every plant, but in my experience, when I root and grow in tree fern fiber, I get more expansive growth. I get growth faster, and overall I am more pleased with the results I get in tree fern fiber as opposed to other mediums. So that's why I use it. And there is my obovata inner variegated in tree fern fiber, and no, there is no hole on the bottom. Now the next one we're going to pot up is the Meredithii cutting. This is the one with not a very long stem, but it still has a stem and a node. So we're going to pot that up in tree fern fiber in a pot with holes in it, if I can find one. Here's one. Now this is a short stem, so anybody who I advertise this to, I will let them know that the stem is about 1 inch long, so they will need to feel comfortable in growing that. I'm always extra on letting people know anything that might be wrong with the plant, but with something like this, I'm a little extra over the top on letting people know what's going on. This is another Hushkiliana. Let's pot this up in a cup real fast. All these cups and no holes. Here we go. Okay. So while I do this, put in the section comment below, what do you like to root your Hoyas in? How do you like to grow your Hoyas? Are you looking for new things to try, or do you just find one thing and stick with it through the end? This is a very large latifolia leaf. So this is a huge leaf with just one node and one stem. So, but I'd love to hear your experiences. I just love to hear everyone's experiences because they're all so different than mine, and I just love to hear how the world outside of me does things. So any questions or comments, please put them below. I would love to read how all of this goes for you. Okay, here's my latifolia from Sarawak cutting. And now all I have left is one ripped Sarawak, which will go, oh no, that's a goner. That one, see the stem on the inside? That's the inner sheath of the stem. You can see the green, that's the green outer sheath of the stem. But that one is a goner. That's too bad. I hate when that happens. I didn't look frequently enough, so I didn't see that happen. If I would have checked more frequently, I probably would have seen it. Patting in the pond right now on the very last one. Or I'm sorry, the tree fern fiber. I misspeak my words all the time. Some of the medicine I take causes a condition called aphasia. I catch it pretty fast normally, but you know, sometimes it gets the best of me. Okay, the very last Hoya we have is the ilagiorum. And so I want to put this, it's already in self-watering. I don't really have that much tree fern fiber, but I want to put it in tree fern fiber. Okay, so there's a little base. And this will need a trellis too. But that'll have to go for another video. Okay, so now we got the ilagiorum. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up all this mess, and I'm going to get back to you, and we're going to show off everything, and we're going to do the outro. Okay, I actually have 2 more to do. Okay, I missed out on recording one of these. This is my Finlaysonii dark. This is a Finlaysonii clone, and it's in a short 3-inch pot that I want to put it in a taller 4-inch pot so I can put a trellis on it so this tendril can go somewhere. So I'm just going to go ahead, and this looks like it's in a nice airy mix right now, so I'm not going to disturb it as little as possible. I had pawn up here, but I guess I threw it away. So let's see if we can get this to go in most of the way. Yep, looks like it goes in just right. We got lucky there. And just the last little bit from her pot, previous pot. Go in there. And now this is in self-watering, so that will keep it moisture longer, and it's also in tree fern fiber, which will also not get extremely soaked during the watering period. Those are all my plants for today, so let me go ahead and get this out of the way and clean up, and I'll show you them all for the end. Okay, the video cut off on me, but I wanted to show you one more quick thing before I went ahead and closed out in the video. You'll notice that I put all the pots in something a little taller, so that way I was able to put it in a self-watering pot and keep it moist at all times. There is one exception, and that is this. This is my species Hoya. You will notice that it is in a very short 3-inch pot, and that is because it has no stem. It only has a node. So I rooted it in water, and that's the second time I rooted it. So now that it's rooted, I'm going to put it in a very shallow pot of tree fern fiber mixed in with a little of perlite and see how that does. See if I can't get some roots to flourish this time around. I have 3 crassipetiolata splash cuttings ready for sale. These are all rooted up, ready to go, and are showing new growth. So that's pretty exciting. I will put these up in my prop bin. These have all been transferred to tree fern fiber to see what it looks like. So crassipetiolata's got a bunch of them. The next Hoya is my Nova Ghost that my daughter gave me for Christmas. I love the plant. See, I wet my plants. But Kayla gave me these after the one I had just wouldn't root, and then unfortunately it ended up just kicking the bucket. So, but these are very happy. They seem to be outputting roots really fast. It hasn't grown any new leaves for me in my care, but I'm hoping that will do. So this is the Hoya Nova Ghost. I also only have one of these. This is the Hanhiae. I don't know what kind it is. I don't know if it's the pink flower or not because it hasn't bloomed for me yet. But this is a really pretty Hoya. It gets really big. It gets almost as big as a latifolia. It's got a new growth right there with a new leaf. And it's got a new growth tip right there. It's been growing in my prop box for a while too. So the Hanhiae. Then I have another one that grew really well. This is my verticillata heartleaf splash. It's got some nice, very nice splashing. Unfortunately, this has some cosmetic damage on the back that you can kind of see on the front. I'm not for sure what that was. It was rubbing up against something. So it's got a node here. It's got a node here, and it's got a node starting way up at the top here. But it's a really cute little Hoya cutting, and it grows really fast. This is my latifolia from Sarawak. This is a single node cutting. And as you can see, it's a very large cutting. This is so pretty. This is my Meredithii. This is a cutting. It has a short stem. The stem is only about 1 inch long, but it's got great roots coming from it. If you watch this video, you'll see where the roots are coming from. But this Meredithii grows really rapidly once you get the roots done and you get it in the right substrate. It takes off running. So this is a very beautiful plant, and I think anyone who gets it will really enjoy it a lot. This is a very, very nice callistophylla. This is a new leaf right here. It's got great roots. It's got a new stem it's got 2 new leaves right there where my thumb is. So this Hoya has been growing. It's starting to grow roots out of the pot. It's very happy. I know that if you don't have a callistophylla right now, this would be a great addition to your collection, as it's already established, it's already growing, it's already rooted, it's already got new growth, it's already going for you. So this is the crassipetiolata. I finally potted up my microdwarf. When I got it, it was just this little part right here. But since I've had it, it's emerged all of these little stand-up points right here. And this is branched off. This has got a new runner right here and one that looks to appear right here. But this has also grown a lot for me. I really like this Hoya. I didn't want it to sun stress quite as dark as it is, because you can see on some of the leaves, they are kind of a pretty purple. I wanted it to stay darker so that it would grow faster. So I moved it out of my Millsbow cabinet where it was, and I moved into another cabinet with lower humidity. So it's my hope that that does the trick. And I have it in tree fern fiber, so it seems to really like that. This is my Finlaysonii dark. I got this a few months ago from a local seller. I was buying something else and decided to add this on. It hasn't really grown for me or done anything yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put it on a trellis now. So I got a trellis. I got a couple of trellises right here. This looks to be about a good enough one. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the trellis, slide it into back as far as I can and into the slots. Oh, and I didn't bring any clips to clip it onto. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip it there. Let me just go ahead and wrap it around. That will do for now. So this is my Hoya Finlaysonii dark trellised. So I will water these in and hopefully they do good. This is my combined piestolepis. This is one plant right here, and this is another plant right here. These two leaves and these two leaves. So I'm trying to make the best out of both plants together. I don't know if this is quite it right now. You'll notice it does have a new tendril with some new leaves right there. So that's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing this grow. It does have great roots. I'm just now waiting for it to start growing and giving me more stems and more leaves. And as I just showed you, this is my inner variegated obovata splash. I really like this. I got this as a trade with someone. You don't see inner variegated obovata splash too often, so I'm hoping that I can keep this in a bright light area and blast it out and get a whole bunch more variegation. This is my Black Magic. I'm going to trellis this up. I'm going to trellis this part just so it's not so unruly. Hopefully get these to start sprouting a little more. So we're going to go ahead and put it on the trellis right now. We're going to put the trellis in the back. So now we have our Black Magic strung up on a trellis. This doesn't really have anything it can do right now until it gets a little longer. But now we have some room to put things around this. We can go ahead and more easily expose it to higher light because it's now all in one compact situation, and we can see it a lot better with the dark coloration. So that is my Black Magic. last but not least is my Finlaysonii. These look good. Everything looks good. All right. So that is my final plant, the Finlaysonii, with its new leaf. Those are all my Hoyas today. Thank you so much for joining me as I went in and repotted some of them, took a look at some of them, got them set up to where they need to be right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and put them in prop boxes, put them in Millsbo cabinets or Detolf cabinets. I'm going to disperse them throughout my house and see where they go from there. If you have any questions, please let me know. And until next time, I'll see you then. Thanks. Bye.